Hello, this is Cocky Says here. It's a new season of Disney Speedstorm. The new season is based and focused on Alice in Wonderland. But I want to talk about some things. Specifically, I want to talk about crew members that I think should have been actual racers for the game. Because I think there are so many characters from from the main movies that should have been racers instead of crew members. I want to just point out which crew members I think should have been racers instead of crew members. We'll go on between each movie franchise. Alright, let's start off with Mickey and Friends. Alright, here, this is the part where I think they could add as many characters as they want. Because Mickey and Friends, I think, have the potential just to add and give more attention to the not so known characters in the media. But for us, who read the Donald Duck and Scrooge McDuck, well, Mickey Mouse comics, pockets books, know the characters very well and all that. Overall, I think they could add as many as possible. I think, example, Clarabella Cow, Horace, Jose, Panchito, Goose, to be actual racers instead of crew members. Because I think especially Panchito and Jose, I think they should have been actual racers. It would be pretty cool to race as Panchito especially. But yeah, Clarabella Cow and Horace, I think should have been racers as well, to add more racers for that main franchise, if you can say so. And from Mulan, I think here we know that the main villain Shan Yu will be added in the future. He's definitely gonna be a racer. I'm surprised that it only had Mulan and Shang as racers. You could easily have added Yao, Ling and Xin as three separate racers. Can't forgive them that they didn't give Mushu as a playable racer. And from the Pirates of the Caribbean, I would love them if they had added Gibbs, Bill Turner and possible Cutler Beckett. But I know that they're gonna save more racers spots for Salazar and Black Bear and possible Angelica as well. And from Hercules, I think I can think of two characters that should have been racers. First one is Zeus. I think he should have been a racer just to match with Hades. It would be pretty cool. And Phil from Beauty and the Beast, Clocksworth and Lumiere and LeFou. I can see the argument, but they don't have any legs, especially Lumiere. But then again, recently they added Forky as a playable character. Well, if you could add Forky, why didn't you just made Lumiere and Clocksworth as racers as well? In Beauty and the Beast is basically just only Belle, Beast and Gaston. They've easily added 3 more characters just to expand there. Alright, this one is probably my biggest criticism. The Jungle Book. Here we only have Mowgli and Baloo as playable racers. How could I not add Louis as a racer? He could easily be in the racer. So they could have added Shere Khan and Bagheera and also Shanti if you could add that as well. But yeah, the argument is Bagheera and Shere Khan, they are on all 4. How would they drive a car? But then again, it's a card game. Not much logic should be added there. They could just follow the same style as Crash Team Racing Nitro Field. You know, the Tiger and Polar characters. They are on all 4. They can still drive. Could have easily done that with Shere Khan and Bagheera. From Monster Inc., yeah, I can think of is Water Moose and the Yeti to be playable racers. And from Toy Story, well, here's the thing about Toy Story. Like Mickey and Friends, they could just add as many as possible. In my opinion, they should have made Rex, Ham and Slinky racers. And about Lilo and Stitch, here my biggest surprise is that Nani is not a racer. Cobra Bubbles and Nani especially should have been racers. And from Aladdin I can think of 3, the Sultan, Abu and the Magic Carpet. The Magic Carpet for me would be one of my favorite characters to drive if he was a racer. And from Nightmare Before Christmas, the only character I can think of that should have been a racer is Santa Claus. Incredibles, I think Underminer, Screenslaver and Edna Mode should have been racers. Yeah, I know in the future we will get Syndrome as a racer. From Frozen, I think Troll King or leader, Marshmallow and possible Duke of Whistleton to be racers. Marshmallow could have worked as racer because as we know they made Captain Gantu size down to be a racer. So why not use him as well? It would be pretty awesome. And from Inside Out, shocked that they didn't make Bing Bong as a racer. Added pretty much everyone from Inside Out and Inside 2 as racers. And yeah, they added also franchises like from the Disney TV series, like Rescue Rangers. But the biggest surprise for me was that they didn't have a whole crew of Rescue Rangers as racers. Only had Chip and Dale. They didn't have Zipper, Monterey Jack, or Gadget, and even Fat Cat. They didn't added him, or the evil professor. Those things I think made them all those mentioned as racers. And then just picked up crew members. I mean, there are plenty of characters from the TV series that they can just turn into crew members if they find it difficult. Good thing is they added Rescue Rangers. That means they will focus and also add franchises from the Disney TV series. So expect them to add DuckTales, like Gizmo Duck in the future. Darkwing Duck franchise, they will definitely make him a racer. And from Big Hero 6, I think they could have added Tadashi as a racer. But obviously they're gonna add more to the Big Hero 6 franchise, the main villain, and 3 classmates left. And from Wall-E franchise, I think they should have used the captain as a playable racer, Mo, the cleaning robot. I wish they'd made Auto, the villain of Wall-E, as a racer as well. It would be pretty cool just to see him drive there. I mean, it's a kart racing Disney game. They could have easily made him a racer. It would be pretty badass. And lastly, from Alice in Wonderland, I'm surprised that they didn't make the White Rabbit and the March Hare. And here are some others that I think should have been racers from the other franchises that I didn't mention much. But yeah, those were my thoughts and the crew members that I think should have been racers. Yeah, I know that Disney Speedstorm can't make every character a potential racer because they need crew members, and some crew members are directly connected to the actual racer. For example, Nani to Lilo. But the thing is, yeah, I can see why they didn't make everyone a racer, but at the same time just feels many characters are missing from the franchises. Especially like I mentioned, the Jungle Book. They only had 2 characters, and they could have easily added Bagheera, Shere Khan, King Louie. At least make it feel complete. Because we have franchises like Inside Out. They added basically almost every emotion. Those were my thoughts. Which characters, which crew members do you think should have been actual racers? Comment down below. And thank you so much for watching this video.